And actually, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because I know me.
You know, so that's our life mission. That's the McShin's mission.
You don't have to understand my boundaries to respect them.
Well, no, I'm the president and co-founder of McShin, a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorders.
How do you go about fixing the damage in the trust between the family after you get out?
Okay, I gotta work on that.
Celebrating my 6 months, didn't have a cake.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're scary. Shut up.
I'm John Shinholzer, president and co-founder of the McShin Foundation here in Richmond, Virginia. You know, we have a wonderful recovery center, many recovery residences. We carry the message of hope in many institutions. We just do a lot of wonderful things here. But one of the things I'm especially proud of is we created a memorial garden. And a memorial garden is a beautiful garden that has just a place where we can memorialize our loved ones lost to this illness. So I want to send the country a strong message and build out this memorial garden, but I need your help. So please go to our website, click on the link to Memorial Garden, and purchase a brick for your loved one, very inexpensive. And let's show the country that we matter, that we count, and that we're not going anywhere. Hello folks, John Shinholzer here live from Henrico West Jail, the West Campus. We're going to get started here in a few minutes. We had some late arrival on some coffee and donuts. So this is what it looks like behind the scenes as we prepare for this type of presentation. We hope Thanksgiving and looking forward to a wonderful holiday season. Say hi to the folks out there. There's Marlon there. But we got a really great speaker tonight. We're gonna get started here in a minute. All right, man, we live right now, so look alive. Yeah, y'all like that? This is coffee night tonight, man. Somebody gifted us with coffee and donuts, and these guys are alive and doing well, man. I'm good, man. How you doing? Hug it out, man. That's right. That's all right. I'm gonna wash my clothes. They're clean. Y'all, I hope y'all, huh? We live right now. Yeah, y'all see? Is he? Kind of nice to have this human connection while incarcerated. It's easier to feed the mind, give them that hope shot. You know, when you just lock guys up, girls up, and treat them like dogs, it's hard to give them that vision of hope. But we're fortunate we have a chef like Chef Gregory that, lets us come. Y'all have a good Thanksgiving. That's all right. You'll have better ones in the future. Keep coming back, man. Everybody make it all right? Anybody get kicked out? Anybody get kicked out? Or
Trying to get a natural scene. He got me.
I got you. Marshall.
No.
Where you at, Marshall?
Like that.
Just be a couple more minutes here, folks. Here he comes. How's that coffee? Is it good? You ain't had a dirty urine in a year? That's good. Hell, we don't even go a week over at the recovery houses, man. Wow. That's doing something right up there. Yeah, it really is. That's amazing, man. That's a nice, tight group of people there. That's incredible. How you doing, Marshall? What do you think? What do you think of this coffee and donuts? We're hot, boy. We're hot. Everything you say is being heard right now.
That's a surprise. Coffee and donuts.
It is.
Still
Yes.
like it. Put a little mix of
Grease and formula, baby.
Yeah. Put a little mix of gravy.
Yeah.
I'm salt and pepper. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what's gonna happen? Some of us gonna have black hair. Some of us gonna go bald. Some of us gonna get a little gray. You know what I mean?
Some of us are gonna receive.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not gray. You're black.
Yeah, platinum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
All right, light them up.
Welcome. My name is Marshall, and you know we did a little warm up, man, before we actually start. You know, and this thing is about developing some confidence in what we are capable of doing, developing some confidence in ourselves. You know, everybody got a different take about why things happen. You know, and I was like, now, why did I just in and out of jail? You know, and some people say because you become comfortable with doing it. I know I can do time, but I'm telling you, it got harder and harder as I got older. You know, it got harder and harder. That old cliche, I can do 6 months standing on my head. You know, that got hard. You know what I'm saying? That got hard. But anyway, accomplishing some things, you know, it sets the trend, it sets the foundation for the future. You know, what can I do? What can I accomplish? You know, and I tell you, for me, man, once I stopped using, I realized that I can do anything that I put my mind to. Anything that I put my mind through to, I can do it. I stopped gambling 3 years ago. Stopped gambling. Me and my wife had a sit down about the Virginia lottery. I mean, I was like, it's an addiction. Addiction is addiction. You know, I was leaving out the house. Oh man, the machine shuts down at 10:35, 10:55, 11 o'clock. Bam, slip on something. I got to go play my lottery. You know, and I did. You know, that's what I did. And I was caught up in that. Me and my wife had a sit down. You know, the benefits of that. What were you doing? You know, I had a friend of mine that I talked to today. Basically went through the same thing that I did. Just playing and just throwing money at it. You know what I'm saying? Throwing your life at it, you know? And won't win nothing, won't get nothing in return. As it turns out, it's a bad investment. You know? What do we get out of continuously coming to jail? You know? Now, this is what this program is all about. This program is all about us turning that thing around. We can make a good situation out of a bad. But here, once we get here, man, we got time. I don't know. I heard the comedian on Netflix the other day, and he said, look, after you get a certain age, it ain't about the money. We can get money. What it's about? Time. Time becomes your currency. Time that you can't get back. You come here and do 6 months, you can't get that back. You done lost that. And then your hope and your wish is that you come in here and do what you got to do and leave out of here. Don't nobody in your family die. Don't nobody get sick. You don't get sick, you know, because time, after you get a certain age, time ain't on your side. You down here. None of us know exactly when we're going to leave here, but we all know that we eventually going to leave here. I done been to so many funerals. I understand about my mortality today. I ain't going to be here forever. But get the best that I can out of today, you know? And that resonates with me on a daily basis. Get the best that I can out of a day, you know, for me, you know? And I showed y'all the newspaper article. This was like in 1991 when that happened. I was down there with the mayor, and they were having a program at the Richmond City Jail, you know? I got invited to that program, the program that John introduced me to. And from that, I look at the timeline of my life. And that thing has changed. The timeline of my life has changed. You know, and I wouldn't give it up for nothing in the world. I wouldn't give it up. I love this guy, man. I love this guy. This guy got me involved in a whole lot of things. And all of it has been good. Only 1% has been bad. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I told you I stopped gambling, you know, but he's still taking my money on the golf course, you know. So
that ain't gambling. That's work.
That's work. So, again, man, this is a bad situation. So we see it, you know, some people's perspective. But, you know, all depends on where you sit. It becomes a good situation, man. We make this thing work. I've never seen so many creative people in all my life in jails and institutions. But like they said, the old cliche, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. I mean, I've never seen so many dudes can draw. You know, I mean, with no resources. They get a pen, man, they get a piece of paper and a pencil and bam. You know, bam. I was like, what? I mean, it's amazing, you know, magnificent that they can do that, because I can't do that. You know what I mean? I don't have those skills, you know? So that's why I'm always impressed by that. And what I am impressed by, too, is you let that creativity stop once you leave here.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Continue on with it. You know, it becomes an inside job. I tell you, my famous go-to slogan, and I told this to my wife all the time. If our relationship gets boring, I take a look at me. If a relationship I got with anybody gets boring, I take a look at me. What am I bringing to the table? What am I doing in a relationship besides complaining and pointing my fingers? That's what recovery has done for me. It's allowed me to take a look at myself. I'm happy to be here. And y'all know, man, after 34 years, I'm still excited, you know? And I'd like to introduce this guy, man, who's my best friend. I love this guy. I call this guy on a regular basis, man, because he has added to my life. I give you John Shenhouse.
Thanks so much.
Love you, man.
Yep.
Love that guy.
Y'all know I'm John. I'm an old timer in recovery. And our speaker tonight, we're going to jump right into him because I want to hear what he's got to say. I heard him the other night give an 8-minute talk. Great talk. I know a little bit about the man. Just pay attention to what he's got to say. He wrote a book. So I'll bring you an author tonight, a published author. But he's been where you're at for many years. He found a way out. Hadn't been perfect, but he's been solid and steady. And, you know, we talk a lot about, you know, get phone numbers, get to know people. And when you have the opportunity, when you leave here, you hang out with recovering people, okay? Don't go back and hang out with them drug dealers and the addicts. You know, you find a whole new herd to hang out with, and you're going to become who you hang out with. You are going to be your friends. And I choose to hang out with true friends. So does Marshall. You know, we're true friends, man. But anyways, I want to introduce Marlon to you, and I know Marlon gonna light you guys up. But pay attention; he's a soft-spoken man. So, Marlon, you got to speak loud.
Thank you, John. I'm gonna speak up. You know what? Because I felt that love when I walked in here that I don't get out there. And like he was saying, we become comfortable in our situation. You know, not just the love, but the respect thing. And that's why I asked y'all to get in that picture with me, because of the hope shot that it gives me when I go back out there. I know that I am you and you are me. And even on my page, I'm gonna put y'all up there, man. I'm so thank you for having me. You know, I really appreciate y'all brothers letting me come here tonight to speak to you. It's not so much about the book, but it's the hope shot that made me want to write the book, right? Because I spent 23 years in jails and prison for petty crimes to support my habit. So I once did 5 years for 2 bottles of lotion, 5 years for 2 T-shirts. You know, that was the old compound law, petty larceny. I think Henrico got me a couple of times too. I was out here, Jail West in the New Kent, right? But I say all that to say, I had to find the hope shot. Why was I doing what I was doing? If I couldn't find anything to make me feel better, then I was going to keep doing what I was doing, right? Because I've been on this path since drug court. I advocate for drug court and halfway houses. If I hadn't got out in 2020, I got clean in 2011. I got married, went into drug court, and I got 2 degrees. And then I ended up getting the 3rd. I finished my master's at Liberty University in addiction counseling. But thank you. But I went back out there, right? And I had to do another 2 years from 2018 to 2020. They sent me to the creek. You know, once you go to the creek, you're going back. I don't care what spread you're on, you're going back to the creek. And I said, I'm not going to waste this time. I'm not going to waste this time And it didn't matter where I was, right, that I was in prison, because we were talking about navigating our way through the holidays, being in a program or being in our situations. And I said, I get the best gift every day when I wake up, the gift of life, right? I get the best gift every day. I don't have to, I don't have to do anything to earn it. I get it when I wake up, right? And so I took that time, that gift during those 2 years, and I said, I'm coming out of here and I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something with it. I'm not gonna waste the time. And I started writing a book. I went and found a typewriter. They took the typewriters out of the prison and put the JP5s in. I start, and I'm that advocate. I'm that guy walking around the prison yard. Hey, why y'all take the typewriters and give us music and games so we could bop our head instead of getting smart, right? And the warden gave me a typewriter. They used to come do the annual shakedown and come to my bed and be like, how this dude get a damn typewriter in the prison? Yeah, but I kept a typewriter at my bed for 2 years, and I wrote that book. And I got out in 2020. I went back in a situation that wasn't good. That's why I advocate for halfway houses, right? I should have done it. I didn't listen to my gut. And I went back out there and I relapsed. My mom died that same year, right? Got out in June 2020. My mom died in December. I walked around in the street like hopeless, right? That's why I say the hope shot. Again, I go back to that picture with you all because I'm going to inspire hope, not just in myself, but in you all and the people out there who still don't believe in us. And guess what? They may never believe in us as long as we believe in ourselves, right? Because I get a lot of that. Even though I'm clean now, a published author and about to graduate, I still have family members, friends who don't accept me, and they'll always look at me as that addict on the street. So mom dies in 2020, right? And I'm walking around. I got the blanket on, y'all. Last winter, catching charges, catching them petty larcenies, but they dropped it now. It's just a misdemeanor now. So I said, I can go steal up to $1,000 and get high. You know how long that kept me out in the street? Oh, you can do 1,000 and not get a felony anymore? Caught a couple of things, right? But my mom died December 14th, 2020. December 8th, I was on the street with a blanket. I went back to the same drug court in Hampton that helped me, right? And I walked up to the lady, and I walked up and I knocked on the door and I said, y'all, I'm gonna die out here. I'm hungry, I haven't eaten, I'm going in stores and it's not gonna turn out good. They said, humble yourself and go back into treatment. I said, but I've been in treatment around here. I don't know, I don't want those people to see me. And then some of the same people that were treating me, I was working with. Because after I got the degrees, I became a peer support specialist, one of the first ones in Virginia. That's what the book highlights. It highlights the importance of peer support in the treatment of mental health and addiction, substance use disorder, peer support, trauma, right? Like nobody can help us better than we can help ourselves. Together we recover, right? So that's what the book is about. But I do that. I become one of the first peer support specialists in the state of Virginia before Virginia even jumped on board with peer recovery specialists. I got certified through INAPS, the International Association of Peer Support Specialists, and it highlights the guy in my book, Clay Hunt, right here. Clay Hunt was a 24-year-old Marine, right? He went over and did 2 tours. Marine went over and did 2 tours, came back and blew his head off. His parents lobbied Congress for billions of dollars for peer support. Peer support became a thing on the national scene, so it was with the military first, right? And so my book, part of that's dedicated to Clay Hunt's parents. They got a picture of him right there, right, at the Capitol. And sorry, Take your time. Because I saw myself in that, right? And I said, these people keep misdiagnosing me. They keep locking me up and I got a problem. They won't treat me. They won't help me. So I said, I got to find somebody to help me. And who was there to help me? The people who are in this room right here. People like you, man, right now, right? People like this lady, Miss Duke, Miss Dismute, right? When I saw her, I spoke to her. I said, Miss Dismute, what do you do? She said, I do the programs. I do the stuff to help the guys. And I remember it was people like that at Indian Creek and people like that. After my 30-year journey, 23 years in prison, I finally found the hope shot. And it was in men like you and people like her. So the book highlights that, right? So I get back and I'm doing the peer support thing because I told y'all I had the license, credentials, right? INAPS peer support. Then I got the 2 degrees and I became a qualified mental health professional. CSAC, supervisee, right? Doing all of that stuff, still relapsed in 2018, and that's why drug court sent me away for the 2 years. But I didn't waste that time. I wrote the book because I found that no matter what situation I'm in, each day, don't take anything for granted. Don't take people for granted anymore. I don't take anything for granted. And that's why I love McShin and what they've done for me. And John, like they open the doors for me. They don't just, it is the only, I have been in programs, little quick backdrop on the addiction, right? I had to take my show on the road because John showed them a picture. My mom was Delegate Marlon BaCote in the House of Delegates, right? Before that, she was a 40-year school teacher on city council, representing the state and stuff. So she would take me and send me on a plane. You're not gonna embarrass me in my name. I'm gonna give you the money to go get high and get on a plane and pick a spot. Matter of fact, pick a far spot because you're coming back too fast, right? I ended up in California. I got high in LA, ended up doing time. Everywhere I go, I'm allergic to smoking crack. I break out in handcuffs. So I did time in LA. I did time in Houston. I did time in Fort Worth, Tarrant County. Between Arlington, I was there and Arlington, between Fort Worth and Dallas. My mama flew me out to Arlington. Look, they said I went to the information. This was what she was trying to get me clean. This was like 92, one of the first programs I went to. She was like, take the ticket, get away here. You know, crack was good back then. That's the early 90s. So I go to Fort Worth. I get off the plane. I said, I go to the information center. I said, hi, where can I find the ghetto? She said, we never had a request like that. But you could go, I'm talking about Big Fort Worth, Dallas International Hospital. I asked them where the ghetto is. They said, you can go to South Dallas, Oak Cliff. And if anybody watched First 48, you know all the murders being Oak Cliff. But anyway, so I didn't end up going out there. But so that's a little backdrop. Showing the road, locked up everywhere, right? Dallas, 5 cities, California, Texas, Atlanta, DC, done time in 1901 D Street, a lot of times 3 times in the old jail in Richmond, right? 1701 Fairfield, a couple of times here, and 1 time in Boston, right when I first started getting high in 90, and I went back up to school with a habit, and I didn't even know what it was called. I would walk, a family member gave me the drug, and I got hooked, addicted right away, because I had done nothing but play football, come from that good family, right? So I was school, I had private school, football, come out of high school, 6'1", 240, benching 400, running a 4.6 40, Got an $80,000 scholarship to Northeastern, playing D1 ball, linebacker. Came back home to work at the Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind. That's when they had 2 state schools. Now they only got 1 for the kids, right? And working there, got introduced to crack. Go back to Boston. Like I said, I don't know, somebody coming to pick me up. I'm smoking that stuff every week, and I go back to Boston. I don't know what it is. I'm walking around. It's a project around Boston called Roxbury. I'm going around Roxbury. Y'all got some of that white stuff? They're like, get out of here, college kid. We ain't giving you nothing. I was green. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything about the street, right? I was just a good student, college kid. And crack took all my dreams. I went to college to be a political science major, and my minor was Spanish. I wanted to be an ambassador to the United States in some Hispanic-speaking country. So I'm fluent in Spanish, too. I read, write, and speak Spanish as a black man, right? And I was serious about education and serious about my life and my goals and what I wanted to do. And I lost that for 30 years. But guess what? They say in recovery, lost dreams awaken. And that's what I did when I found that hope shot, and people like Miss Dismue and people like you men in the room who were like, yo, man, get your act together. You losing your life. You got kids out there you care about. You get on the phone and act like you love them, but when you get out on the street, you don't stay with them, right? And I thought about it just a few months ago. I said, you know what I was doing? That is so crazy. An oxymoron. It's sick. I would fight to get my freedom, right? I'm going to do everything. I'm going to make my bed. I'm a big judge. Let me get a program and all that. I'm going to fight to get my freedom. And as soon as I get out, I'm going to do everything I can to lose it. What the hell is wrong with me? That's just real. 30 years of it. And here I am. But I go back to McShin. Let's dismule. People like this, these programs. And I said, you know what? These people are loving me more than I love myself. I need to find that. And I had to sit down this summer. I was in one of the sober living homes. And it's a lot of rules and all that. And I wasn't driving, so I couldn't attach to anybody. So that's why I go back to saying support the sober living and the halfway houses, because I had to learn to do everything on my own. I couldn't attach to no woman. I couldn't attach to a kids or family member. I had to sit there on my own. It was hot this summer too, y'all. I was walking. I live up there on Broad. I walked the Waffle House in the morning, walked the Olive Garden at night, and then walked back home. I was busting 2 jobs. I said, I'm gonna come back from this. I said, I'm coming back, man. I'm not letting them take anything else from me. I'm not letting me take nothing from myself. God has given us so much inside. Look, that's why I say it's hidden treasures. It's hidden treasures in each one of you all. Because you know what? That's the highlight of my book. Pressure creates diamonds, right? How much pressure is it to do time, especially during the holidays or any time? It ain't got to be the holidays and not get that call, not get through. Yo, I wasn't getting mail so long for one time. And doing years in prison, multiple years, doing multiple years in prison and not getting any mail. Man, I was like, I'm going to send out a letter where I know it's going to be a return address just so I can get my name called. Yeah, man, I got sick. And I said, if I could, I used to call it mind, if I could mind screw myself that much to try to make myself feel good about getting mail, why can't I just tell my mind, don't come back in these rooms so I can stay out there on the street and I ain't got to worry about nobody, right? And I said, man, all that's inside of me. I made it out. I made it home, or I made it through. Each day you wake up and you in here. And I don't know what kind of program this is, but make your bed, get out. You can't lay back down in your bed. Prison's changed over the time from the early 90s, right? You got to get up. What you mean I can't lay down and do my time how I want to? I really don't want to be here. So the hidden treasures inside all of y'all, man, I just want to encourage y'all, no matter what you're going through this moment, you have treasure inside you. And it's not just for you to shine, it's so that other people can find their way. That's in the last part of my book called Giving Back. See this fundraiser right here? That's the stuff that helps keep me going. That's the children's. I found a cause, right? So I've been giving back to the Children's Hospital in Norfolk. And I just gave them a $500 check. John saw it on my Facebook page because they built a mental health hospital. Now the kids like me who had ADHD and were called a disruption to the class have a whole hospital, a whole school they can go to where they won't be kicked out of school. Break that school to prison pipeline, right? Yeah, so I love CHKD and what they do. I support them. I find other things, and then just not on a big stage because everybody's not going to do it like that. You have the hidden treasure just to impact your immediate family and friends and loved ones, the people in your life. Like get on the phone and start changing, start letting that treasure shine. Start picking up on your good qualities and the good things about you. Start recognizing what's beautiful about you because we know we can be down on ourselves already. We know how other people look at us, right, already. I don't need that. Break out of that, y'all. Y'all got it in you. Man, I love y'all. Thanks for having me here. Please shine when you get out of here like the diamonds you are. Thanks. I guess, are there any questions?
Yeah, any questions, Marlon?
Questions? Yes, sir.
Not really a question. That makes it more life is different.
Yes, sir.
When I got married, I went down to Atlanta afterwards to work on a house. I didn't do nothing. I was getting house crack. I went to the omelet shop, walked in there and said, can you point me to the nearest ghetto? No.
It happened. And we're that resilient, right? Even if we're not addicts and we just about that street, like, right? We know how to get by. We know how to make that dollar. We know how to get what we want to feel good, right? If we can do that, man, you know how hard that is? You know how we make money? That's why I published the book and everything I'm doing. And glad that I have opportunities like this where people know at McShin, where I have a second chance, where somebody's going to say, guess what? We're going to hire you. And not even with your 17 felonies and all that. You're going to go through a federal background check and pass, right? And we're going to give you an opportunity to work.
Tell them about your job, Recovery Corps.
Recovery Corps. Wow. I didn't want to cry, John. That's why I ain't talking about I didn't want to cry because I'm grateful that I can, yeah, and I tell everybody, like, I get to work for the same place to help save my life. And I get to be in groups all day and then help people too. Peer. It's called Recovery Navigator, right? I'm just around people healing all day, right? That energy, that love. Now, not everybody's making it, but the ones that do, those little stories, those little moments when somebody said, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Or in the TENS program, we have the men's intensive and the women's intensive. Just being able to be there all day to talk to people who are missing their family and knowing that they feeling better because I had an opportunity to share what I've been through and just share some experience, strength, and hope. Man, there's nothing more beautiful in this world. It's like, to me, and I just told somebody this tonight, I don't know if you're spiritual, but the same thing the devil tried to use to destroy me, that crack, that disease, that addiction, God smacked him back in his face and said, now that nigga helping people. The same thing you used to try to kill him, excuse that word, right? The same thing you tried to use to kill him, I'm now going to use to help him to save.
But, you know, I think it's important to say, y'all heard of AmeriCorps? Anyway, AmeriCorps, they have tens of thousands of jobs all across America where the federal government subsidized folks to go work for charities and nonprofits. Well, they created a Recovery Corps section to AmeriCorps, and Richmond, Virginia is one of these pilot sites for this. He has a livable wage job right now, and his experience is his addiction and his recovery. I mean, where else can you go and get a job where a felony is a plus? To do time is a plus. You know, to have the struggle we have is a plus. That's, you know, these peers, it's for real.
And the background check, John, is just any murder or anything dealing with, you know, sex crimes and stuff. So those were the only things that will disqualify you. Only those two convictions. So, you know, so
Marlon got caught for everything but that murder and that other. But anyways, I mean, any other thought, comments, or questions? I mean, this man, I mean, you gotta love the man. You know, this is a great American story, man. He never quit. He never give up. Clearly, he was misdiagnosed all these years. We didn't have appropriate services to treat him. Now he's trying to be the change. He's trying to get our society to have appropriate services to match the illness, to keep him out of correction.
That mixed diagnosis happened 30 years ago. I was sent to Eastern State. That's the first chapter of my book, right? Because I was dealing with the trauma, the head trauma from football. I was so hyped up. And then I got into the street and started handling guns. So I was like, shoot, I need to see what it feels like. Shot myself in the chest, right? It's in the book. At an angle, I wasn't trying to kill myself, right? But my thinking, I was so sick.
You know, a muzzle blast can kill you, though.
No, I did it at an angle. I said, I'm out here, and either somebody's going to get me, I need to know what it feels like. But just sick. But I say all that to say, when I went in the Eastern, people sent me to Eastern State for that. I was committed, I must say, right? And when I got committed for that, they diagnosed me schizophrenic and put me on Haldol. Right? And it hurt me so bad. I used to remember in the bed shaking. And when I would try to spit the pills out, and this is all in the book, right? They would be like, the judge said, you're not going to go home till you take this medicine for 30 days. And then because I was spitting the pills out, they made me drink it. And it hurt. It hurt me. It made me feel bad because that wasn't my problem. My problem was the trauma. I was desensitized, which is why I did research at Liberty University this year and presented it before the nation on children in underserved communities. And my study was done on children in Baltimore, right? And how the trauma affects them and they become desensitized. Their anxiety is high. Their fight or flight is on high. And you got 6 and 7-year-old kids walking to school every day feeling like that. Guess what? They feel like it's okay to pick up a gun or sell a pack, right? Because they see it all the time. They become desensitized. And I did my study, and these children in these underserved communities don't have fair representation in the psychology books because that's my degree study, right? So in the substance use disorder class, they have things like overeating and gambling anonymous, but they don't have process addictions, lifestyle addictions. And somebody said, you calling them out, guess what? If they fix that, there'll be a whole lot of empty jails because then they could treat what these children are doing when they go to school and act out and find ways to cope. because they come from these, environments where that stuff is norm. So I'm speaking out now. I'm used, like I said, not just with the addiction piece and the going back and working at McShin, but then also with the mental health part. I'm back, and I'm not gonna let that happen. I don't want that. Like, if I went through 30 years of hell, 23 years in prison, just so I could help one person, it was worth it. It was worth it to me. Missing all that time out of my life, as long as I don't waste it now. And that's why I'm here before y'all tonight. Like I say, let your treasure shine now. Y'all don't let it go that long. Like, bring that beauty out now. Be there for your family, your children, your community, and people who love you. The world needs you. The world needs y'all, because y'all been through stuff and you got authenticity. You got resilience. The world needs you, man. Look what's going on out there. It needs strong men who will stand up in the face of adversity and say, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And we'll do that. Y'all push the line. And when I was locked up in Cali and LA, the Bloods, Crips, everybody call it pushing the line. We going around here, push the line, bro. Right? I know y'all, this is what you do. This is what we men do, who make our stance and say, I'm going home. Don't get in my way. Right? That's how you feel now. Go out there and stay out there. Fight for that freedom, but then don't lose it. Don't do everything to lose it. All right.
I mean, you gotta love this guy, man. I mean, come on, man. We got a couple guests in the house.
You got a question?
Oh, never mind.
I think what you just said about the mental health thing, a lot of people don't understand it. Like, coming from urban communities, like, you face a different type of struggle. You know what I mean? Like, when you grow up in areas where it's okay to do just what you're talking about, and so you don't understand they don't understand the anxieties. You know what I mean? And the frustration that you feel, and so, like, and then you get, people tell you not to talk to nobody. Like, if you're a man, you deal with it on your own, right? Wow. So I was intimidated to talk to somebody. I ain't want to talk to mental health and none of that. I thought that if I did that, that made me a weak man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it came out to be that was the best thing that I can do. You know what I mean? Like, I wound up talking to them people, and they gave me some medication that I take. You know what I mean? And it don't get you high. It don't make you feel outside yourself. It just made me feel centered. Like, everything that felt like it was, because everything felt like it was life-threatening to me. Like, it felt like it had to happen now, like it was the end of the world, everything. Yeah. And it just don't feel like that no more. And when you get to dealing with people and talking to other people that's willing to help you, like, you get sent in another direction. Like, it's stuff happening in my life right now that I didn't even give permission to. Like, and it's just happening. I thought it wasn't happening. You know what I mean? And in the last 2 months, like, my life is completely different than what it was 90 days, 6 months ago. Like, I feel confident in my direction where I'm going now. Like, I know I'm not going to do none of the stuff I did before. I got a strong support group, and it ain't even my family. It's people outside my family. Wow. Like, I got a family right here. Y'all looking at me.
Talk about that.
I come home and talk to them every day when I got an issue, and they take their time out to talk to me, you know what I mean? So I appreciate them dudes. Like, they just don't know how much they mean to me, and I don't think nobody else know how much that we mean to each other, because we are our biggest support group.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for sharing that, bro. Yeah. That's right.
Anybody else? Give Marlon a hand, man. Good job, Marlon.
Thank y'all.
Y'all want to say anything? Y'all come through here? Y'all alumni of the jail? Yeah. Your cousin? Well, come on up front and say a couple words. Come on, both of you. It's cousin night out. You use that mic so the Facebook people can hear us.
Oh, they can hear me.
No, they can't. That's for the camera. They can hear you, but there's people watching live on Facebook, and that's the mic for the Facebook. Words of wisdom is what we're looking for from the cousins.
So my name's Sherry.
How you doing? I'm Jay Eco.
Deco.
Jay Eco.
Oh, JD-Co. Good Lord, what are you speaking of, man?
Speak
up,
I'm
boy.
not a big public speaker, but I'm gonna try to do this right for y'all. So, since 18, man, I've lived most of my life right here. I've been on every section or any part of this jail you can be on, and done just about anything you doing it. I've been in Miss Demuth. I've been in her program. She's offered me a chance. And I've effed up a lot of things, man, over and over. But at some point in life, you got to come to a point where you realize, what's really going to take you somewhere different. what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? And there's many ways to do it, but there's only really one right when you're doing something, right? So I think all of us individually have our own issues with the same results. So I think that, the McShin program has offered me something I didn't think, I could do myself. And the group of people around there has offered me numerous opportunities to show sides of myself that I didn't know I had. I sit in a room full of people all the time and listen to stories that I relate to. Share a lot of things about myself with people I've only met a couple of times. However, we seem to have, like my man said, a family. We all come together for the same purpose. So, if I could give anybody a piece of advice, it would be when you step outside these walls back to the free world, man, give yourself a chance and give yourself something you ain't never did before, an opportunity, man. Look forward to something different and get involved with this thing, man. Get involved with some things that you ain't used to. See what works for you. And at the end of the day, I guarantee you something different's going to happen.
Yeah, find your herd. There's a herd for everybody. There's a recovery herd for everybody. Find your herd, run with the herd, and the lion ain't gonna get you. The lion never gets you if you're in the middle of the herd. It always gets the one on the outside of the herd.
Right.
So, hey, did you hear that, Art? That's her cousin. So you're still good, man.
And thank y'all for having me, man. Thanks for letting me say a little something to y'all guys tonight, man. I wish y'all all the best.
Yeah. Good job. Thanks for coming. Don't go nowhere. They might have questions.
So I've been in y'all seat more times than I can remember. I've been coming to the big people jail since I was 18, but I've been getting arrested since I was 13. And
the family tradition. I know your family.
Right. Right. But so my last bid I did I did 22 months after all my update sheets and all that. I decided this time around, because I was always looking for the drugs in the jail, always, no matter what it was, even if it wasn't my DOC, my drug of choice, like if it got me high, I was on it. So this time I was like, I overdosed, got arrested, and I was in Pamunkey jail for the first time ever because I had crossed that Hanover line, and McShin was coming to Hanover, and I just... what really got my attention was this woman, Karen Malcho, came in and she was always talking about how much fun she had in recovery, because I was just, you kind of look at recovery as lame if you're really just not ready to give up your ways. And she was always talking about going to shows and all that. And she just got my attention. So I wrote an essay and asked for some help for when I did get out. And I was in there almost 2 years before, after I wrote. It was about a year and a half, and they still honored it. They gave me a scholarship. I got out, so that my recovery started with McShin. I have relapsed since I got out, but as of right now, I've got 17 months clean, working on 18 months, which is the longest I've ever been clean. And I will say the biggest thing is just getting into, this is what worked for me, getting into a recovery house. I stayed in the recovery houses on my own, not like being forced, for about 6 months until I was, ready to go out on my own. And it just, it really helps you with that accountability and the things that, we're not used to following rules. So just having that, the peer-to-peer definitely has helped me so much, so much, since I've been clean this time, because my last relapse, I walked through the door, I only had one hand working, I was shooting up. I came through the door like this, walking back in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, and hey,
hey, a little homecoming here, hey. That's your brother?
He knows me.
Oh.
But anyway, I would recommend the recovery house scene to anybody, if you're struggling with addiction, if that's what got you here. It's helped me so much. I'm 40, I'm about to be 41 in a couple weeks, and I have, like I said, almost 18 months clean. I bought a car for the first time ever. I have an amazing relationship with my son, and I'm in the process of getting him full time, which I lost custody of him when he was 2. He's 15. So if that tells you anything, I got my license for the first time ever. I'm certified in peer specialist. I'm waiting for my background to come back to get a job at the health department doing peer-to-peer work with the overdose crisis. So like, if you just stick with it, like, find somebody that you feel comfortable with, like John said, that, get you a herd that you fit in with or whatever, like, get with somebody that you like what they have, you like what type of person they are when they walk in the room, maybe the respect they might get when they walk in the room, or, the material things, that's really what, attracts us sometimes. But, just the type of person that somebody is, like, grab a hold to them, and like what they say, and they like get in their back pocket, like you will have success. Seriously, because I never thought that I would be where I'm at right now, because 18 months ago I was in hotels shooting up and just terrible.
Not looking good.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I've got a before picture where I found out about Chippenham detox. I went there the next day. I found somewhere to put all my clothes. Went there the next day, and I never looked back. I reached out to a RCO, which is a recovery house, and asked for some help because I was broke coming out the detox. I stayed there 6 days. Came to the recovery house, and like I said, like once I felt like I got what I needed, because a lot of times in the recovery houses, the most things that you don't like having to deal with, a grown woman telling you, being a grown woman, what to do, like y'all, listening to another.
I get that every night at the house, man.
But like that type of stuff helps you to deal with situations that are more important in your life later on, bigger situations, whether it's in the workplace or just whatever. So like, I tell my cousin all the time, like, if he talks about, well, I don't want that man talking to me like that. I'm like, well, just deal with it, because later on in life, like, it'll help mold you for bigger situations.
It's better than a CEO talking to you like
exactly.
that. Look, you guys don't realize it, but you have alumni out here. You're part of an alumni association, an alumni group. Whether you let that sink in, you don't never have to be alone again. You don't have to do this journey alone. These are cool people. We're cool people. Marlon's a cool dude, man. Yeah. We got cool staff over here, helping us. You got no idea the support and the love, the compassion, the understanding, but more important, you have a pathway that people will walk with you along this pathway and guide you, but you got to do the work. Yeah. It's kind of like the old person in a wheelchair. I'll widen doors and put low counters. I'll do anything I can for you, but I ain't jumping in the wheelchair for you. Right. It's gonna be your job to do the recovery work, but you're gonna get the results. And he's got 35 years, 34 years clean, 40 years clean, 17 months, 90 days, a year, Art coming up on it. We got all brackets of recovery and clean time here. I mean, this is for anybody and everybody. So, somehow you guys just got to keep playing that tape over. Look, recovery can be mine. Or I can go back where I come from. We ain't bored, are we?
Hell no. I had the most fun ever in recovery. It's just a different type of fun.
Drug get high ain't gonna be but so good. I don't care what drug you take, that you can't get but so high. The recovery high is progressive. And that's a fact. We're living proof of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One of the best moments in my life, man, was when this made me cry. My son named his son after me.
And that's a hit.
Man, that was a hit. No idea that was about to take place. And I was too immature to really understand. Understand that. Today I understand, man, this life is a generational thing for us that got kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Marlon talk about it. We have them, and then when we get out, we spend a minute with them, and then we go. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just me. I'm a senior. It's a third. It's right. MDT2, MDT3.
Yeah, you the senior, all right.
I'm dead and gone, the name is going to live on. Right. And like old folks used to say, boy, don't mess my name up. You know what I mean? You
can't tell your grandson that.
I tell you, man, the sharing has been good. You know what helped me when I realized and I understand, man, that I'm a human being and there's two particular sides to me. It's the physical and then it's the spiritual. You know, that spiritual side of me, I realized when I started dealing with my kids. You know, ain't nothing physical about that. The spiritual side of it. You know, what I want for my kids. You know, and you hear this all the time, right? I want my child, I want my kid to have a better life than I did. You know what I mean? And that's spiritual, man. You know, if you can't get the spiritual aspect of it, you done missed the whole program. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is what we get, man. We get this. We get both of it. We get the physical and we get the spiritual here in recovery, here at McShin, you know. And you know, I'm certainly grateful for that, man. You know what I mean?
Anybody got anything? Look.
And you know, I want to add something to it. You know what I think is a really big part too, you know, getting in the recovery scene, especially with the men, but for men and women is, you know, the little stuff that we don't want to share out loud because, you know, it makes us sound weak. We feel like, you know, not want to be vulnerable. And, you know, you get in recovery and you meet people and they're honest, they're gut honest, like in the meetings, you know, especially or one-on-one, and you see like they share about all these little insecurities and stuff that you don't want to share about out loud. And you're like, damn, I be feeling the same way as that. You know what I'm saying? And then it makes you be able to be more open about stuff that that you don't want to share in this type of environment because, you know, you feel like it makes you look weak or like a pussy or whatever, you know,
Right.
But we all have feelings and stuff and trauma that we've been through at young ages that, you know, as a result of that, you know, we feel like, you know, we do.
Yeah, but y'all share upstairs all the time, right? I mean, y'all pretty open, right? Oh, come on. Y'all play that macho shit up there, man.
You know that.
Nobody had more street cred than I did, man. I share that shit, man. Holy smoke. I'm going to bring y'all some Barney dinosaurs for y'all bed down with. Look, we're going to call it. We got to get, you know, go home to our families tonight. But I wanted to, for the folks watching, I want to remind people this is Giving Tuesday. Only comes once a year. So don't be afraid to hit our homepage or our Facebook page and make McShin a contribution in case you watch this on the rerun, because this goes out to the tablets and people. We get hundreds of views during the week on this. Well, I just want you to know any Tuesday is Giving Tuesday, so feel free to give to McShin on any Tuesday throughout the year. And let's give another hand to Marlon for coming in here and sharing, and the alumni for coming out. Let the sheriff know we appreciate the youth here. And thank you for the coffee. We're not sure who brought the coffee, but thank you for your continued support. Yeah, and we'll be at East next week, I assume. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. And y'all hang in there. Keep up the good work. We're proud of you, okay? Marshall, we good?
Yeah, we good. We good.
Good. All
Stay
right.
creative, man. Stay creative.
There you go. Thank you.